All right, so I have my master account. This is the MT4, okay, that I take my trades in. Then I have all my, oops, here we go, here we go. Let's just do 5, so it's going to be easier. I have what I call my slaves account, okay? I started doing this about 8 months ago. Slaves, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's say these ones are, let's say, between 100K and 200K. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Right. Okay. Yep. You have a question? Go for it. Did he had a question?
No.
Yeah, you just continue.
Okay. So basically, this is what I do. Each broker, is connected to what we call a copier, right? In the copier settings, right? In the copier settings, you can tell your copier, enter the positions, but please do not copy my stop loss or my TP. Since this isn't a prop firm, right? Okay. So this is really important, right? They're not going to yell at you because you trade without a stop loss. Your master account has a stop loss and TP. Obviously, I use Trade Assistant and I have a TP and an SL, right? So I manage my risk in the copier settings and I don't copy the SL, right? What I also do, since a lot of brokers sometimes don't like that, is I have also another pair of brokers. Let me just put this like this. Another set of broker that, let's call it slave 6 and 7. I have 9 different accounts like this. Let's say again, like this. But these ones have what we call an EA with auto TP and auto TP and auto SL plus 200 pips. So it's going to be clear. Give me a minute, please. When I enter a position in here, since it's a smaller account, I'm not impacted by slippage and price isn't taken out quickly because of my stop loss size. When you enter a big account with a bigger lot size and you predetermine your stop loss, they already know where your stop loss is, so you might get slipped. When you have a significant amount to brokers, you can ask them to guarantee the slippage on only pending limits positions because they will be able to connect directly to the liquidity provider and they will not lose money. But these are strictly to pending limits. Now, example, I buy Euro USD in here, right? This, let's say, takes a 4-lot position. It takes a position onto these accounts at the same price or similarly, but I don't have the stop loss marked. But when my position here hits the stop loss, the copier closes the position so the broker never knows about my SL. And what this EA does is, like, let's say my master's account, I buy Euro USD like this, okay? I buy Euro USD, right? Like this. I have, let's say, a 1.2 let's do a 2SL, right? This auto BE will make my slave account buy the position at the same place, but will put my SL, written SL, into the broker at 200 pips. Same thing for my TP. But once I hit a stop loss here, it will, because I didn't copy the SL and TP, it will close my position at the same place and will TP at the same place. So essentially, the only information the broker has from me is my entry point. And I'm constantly switching things up into my copier and constantly now trying new brokers. And this, what I've put in place, is called a firewall. And back in the day, I was strictly using Fusion Market. And stupidly enough, I started seeing Fusion liking my Twitter account and my Instagram. And I don't know if it's a placebo effect or if I was stressing out, but I started getting really, really bad entry execution on my trades. And I thought that was the reason. And what's important to understand is I trade under businesses accounts and never personal accounts. So I'm trying to figure out how this happened, but I think they're not stupid. So basically, I just decided to remove my paranoia out of the equation and putting this setup in place. And essentially, this firewall also protects your fund because let's say this broker is not uh, um, regulated and he fucks up your money, but then you don't lose the maximum amount. In any point in time in your career, even if you're at my current skill or you're lower or better than me, you should always, always trade from a smaller account and copy your trades into, let's say, prop firm, uh, investment, live account, invest, live. So your brain and your emotions are solely impacted from your smaller account and you don't see the big numbers. You don't even log in into it. For me, the numbers don't affect me. It was really the fact that I started having really bad entries, really bad execution, and that firewall has been put in place. And it's completely legal to do this. There's nothing wrong. It's just that basically you're entering positions, but since your stop loss is at another broker that has a lower amount, usually brokers, when you have smaller capital, the risk team don't monitor those accounts, so they don't care. So you run under the radar. And I strictly created a random business that has no association with my name to put this money in this master account. So basically, when you look into here in Quebec, in Canada, you look and you write that business name. I'm not even the owner. It's a holding company and a trust fund that has access to this company. So even though I become the most popular trader in the world on Instagram, and my broker decides to sneak on me, he will never be able to find me because legally I'm not attached to this legal business. So that's my little story about the firewall I've put in place for my accounts. But for the moral of the story, I think that having this solution in place for you guys is really good. And this is what I did with a lot of students. I forced them to trade on $100 account, strictly $100. And sometimes I just connect their account into a prop firm demo account. And without even knowing, they pass the account just by strictly trading into the $100. And this is actually where you see that the emotional barrier comes from the money you trade and not the actual trades. I'm human. I don't feel good about losing $10,000 onto an SL. So this is why also I protect my emotion. If I didn't had a good day, the money I trade now is on a smaller account. And this is strictly why you guys saw me now covering up the lot size into the accounts on MT4 on Instagram. because people would laugh at me because I'm trading a smaller capital account, and I'm not connected into these big accounts anymore, so they don't impact me. And that's basically it. So the firewall comes in place for an emotional barrier and also a stop loss protection from the broker.
Very cool.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
I'd like to ask you, what exactly is the intention with the plus 200 pip stop losses on the
Because some brokers, you will literally receive an email from the risk company, and they will tell the risk team, they will tell you, you're not trading with a stop loss. Please put in a stop loss. And this is what I use also when I was passing prop firm challenges. I was setting up an EA into each account that had a different TP and stop loss. So let's say 250 and 230, because they will say, oh, it's my money. I don't want you to risk my money because we're copying this to the liquidity provider directly to the market bullshit. And you put this in place so they shut up.
And is this all like, so I understand here in the red circle, you've got a prop firm investment live, but when it comes to the 7 slave accounts, is this regarding different brokers or all the same broker?
Different broker.
Okay.
And most of them also are not connected to the same business entity. Because 8 months ago, I'm 30 years old now. And 9 months ago, I had 30. When I hit 30, I started to rethink about my whole future, my family, my loved ones. So I had to redo my whole structure. And this is where I started doing the trust business architecture. And I had to create multiple different businesses to separate my funds. And this is where I started doing those. I'm going to be honest, opening such a structure costs about $25,000, but it's really worth it because when you see it on a legal standpoint, it's like if I own ships, I own nothing. Kate, the EA, I could share it if you want. I have it on my Dropbox.
Good
Yeah,
deal.
that would be great. Thanks.
This is great for prop firm. So let's say you want to trade a small account, but FTMO has, let's say, bad slippage. So you trade onto a $1,000 account, you copy into FTMO, and FTMO, when you enter your position, like when you enter the trade and you already have your stop loss predetermined, your position can be slept, but it will not be closed because your master account will be in place. The smaller the account, the less slippage you get. And this is how I'm able to get such small stop loss because everything is coming from the small account. And
So,
this is
sorry,
just an easier way to do it.
you see, with the prop firm account, would that mean that your commission is low as well?
No, the commission goes from the
Oh yeah,
lot
yeah, my
size.
bad. Yeah.
So, example, if you risk, let's say you risk 1%, and let's say you copy this copier, you can go into the percentage risk, and usually I adjust the percentage based on covering the fees, because the master account, my risk account, has the fees included because I subtract them from my position. Okay.
All right.
But when you copy it, of course, that my master account don't have the main fees, the same fees than all these brokers. And this is why you do a little math calculator and thing, and you subtract the lot size based on the fees.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
But
And
to
that's
be able to start with this structure, just do this one. Literally, you start with $100 account, you risk 1%, you create a prop firm account, a demo prop firm, or whatever you want. You risk 0.1%, right? And this goes into 1%. So when they will ask you the risk calculator, you take a position 10 times smaller than this one, because of course you don't want to risk 1% into a prop firm, right? And then what comes in place is that you have your emotional in place because you trade a small account. and you never know what happens. You don't log in into the account. You don't go into the portal. You don't look at shit. You just trade from this account. And this helps you with your emotion also. The broker I use, the copier I use now, it's called Trade Connect, Traders Connect. It has MT4, MT5, C Trader, and what's the other name? Trades Connect, Trade Central, whatever the name is. If I go into Traders Connect, I used to trade with Social Trader Tool, but it's really bad. So Traders Connect, I'll paste it into the chat here. It supports MT4, MT5, C Trader, DX Trade, Trade Locker, Match Trade, Trade Vonate, and Ninja Trader. So if you guys are trading Profirm and now they support DX Trade, simple. Create yourself $1,000 or $100 account with MT4 because you love trading with MT4 with a regulated broker, and you copy into your DX Trade FTMO USA account, and you will never have to touch 2DX Trade anymore.
I hate DX Trade for real, for real.
Then use Traders Connect. It's just $20.